welcome back to my channel Avanti Morocha. In this video I'm going to give you the information you need to know about the devices, tools and accessories you need to start using your Cricut machine. If you haven't bought a Cricut machine yet, I recommend watching my video where I compare Cricut Maker, Cricut Explore 2 and Cricut Joy. This video will help you to choose the Cricut that is right for you. Now let's begin. Cricut cutting machines use the application Design Space. It is available for Windows, Mac, iOS, and Android devices. It is important to mention that Design Space is not compatible with Chromebooks. If you want more information on the system requirements, visit the Cricut site. I'm going to share the link to this page in the info box. There are some differences in the features of Design Space on the computer versus the mobile devices. At the moment, the desktop application is the only full-feature application. For example, if you want to make stickers using the print and cut feature, you need to use a computer or an iOS device. That feature is not yet available for Android devices. If you have a Cricut Maker and want to use the knife blade, you can only do it when using the Design Space application on the computer. Cricut is constantly updating Design Space and new improvements are always coming. You can buy a Cricut machine as a machine only or get a bundle that includes tools, accessories, and materials. These bundles are only available on Cricut's official site. For example, you can get the Essential bundle for Cricut Maker or Explore 2 or the Everything bundle for Cricut Maker or Explore 2. There is also a label making an Essential bundle for Cricut Joy. My favorite bundle is the Essential bundle because it has the tools, accessories, and materials I use the most. If you want to try more products, get the Everything bundle. If you decide to buy the machine only, this is what comes inside the box. If you get a Cricut Maker, you will get the machine, one rotary blade plus drive housing, one premium fine point blade plus housing, one fine point pen in black, one 12x12 fabric grip mat, one 12x12 light grip mat, a welcome book, one USB cable, one power adapter, a free trial membership to Cricut Access only for new subscribers, 50 free ready-to-make projects including 25 sewing patterns online, and materials for a practice project. If you get Cricut Explorer 2, you will get the machine, one premium fine point blade plus housing, one fine point pen in black, a 12x12 light grip mat, a welcome book, a USB cable, a power adapter, a free trial membership to Cricut Access only for new subscribers, 50 ready-to-make projects online, and materials for a practice project. If you get a Cricut Joy, you will get the machine, one blade plus housing, one fine point pen in black, a 4.5 by 6.5 inches standard grip mat, a welcome card, a power adapter, a free trial membership to Cricut Access only for new subscribers, 50 ready-to-make projects online, and materials for a practice cut. Your machine comes with a free trial membership to Cricut Access for a month, giving you access to the Cricut library containing fonts, images, and ready-to-make projects. If you want to learn more, watch my video about Design Space and Cricut Access. Based on the material you want to use, you need to use the right mat. For paper and cardstock, use the light grip mat. For iron-on and adhesive vinyl, use the standard grip mat. For thicker material, use the strong grip mat. And for fabric, use the fabric mat. If you want to cut fabric with Cricut, I only recommend using Cricut Maker with the rotary blade. If you want to learn more about the mats, watch my video Everything about Cricut Mats. These are the blades and tools available for Cricut Maker. The premium fine point blade, the deep point blade, the bonded fabric blade, the rotary blade, and the knife blade. Also the quick swap tools, the scoring wheel, the depositing tip, the engraving tip, the perforation blade, the wavy blade, the foil transfer tool, and the scoring stylus. If you want to learn more about the quick swap tools, watch my video about it. Cricut Maker comes with two blades, the fine point blade and the rotary blade. These two blades are more than enough to start working with your Cricut, but if you want to cut thicker materials like leather or craft foam, I recommend getting the knife blade. My favorite quick swap tool is the scoring wheel. The blade that I use more often is the fine point blade, and while it lasts a long time, this blade, like other tools, will need to be replaced after a while. These are the blades and tools available for Cricut Explore 2, the premium fine point blade, the deep point blade, the bonded fabric blade, the foil transfer tool, and the scoring stylus. Cricut Explore 2 comes with the fine point blade. If you want to cut thicker material like glitter cardstock or faux leather, I recommend getting the deep point blade. If you want to make cards and boxes with your Explore 2, I will also recommend getting the scoring stylus. Cricut has a variety of pens. These are compatible with Cricut Maker and Explore 2. I use Cricut pen to make this kind of card. If you want to learn more about Cricut pens, watch my video about it. These pens are from the Cricut Infusible Ink line and can be applied on fabric and porcelain. Cricut Joy comes with a fine point blade. This blade has a specific dimension and will only work with Cricut Joy. Cricut Joy also comes with a pen. This is great to make cards and labels. If you want to make cards with Cricut Joy, I recommend buying the card mat. It is worth it. One of my favorite materials from Cricut Joy is the insert cards. Keep in mind with Cricut Joy you can make labels only using Cricut Joy pens and Cricut Joy writable vinyl, since the print then cut feature is not available in this machine. The Essential Tools set is my favorite. The tools that I use the most are the scraper, weeding tool, scoring tool if I'm using Explore 2, and the trimming tool is my all-time favorite. The self-healing mat is a must-have for any crafter. Same with the True Control knife. If you want to make stickers with Cricut Maker or Cricut Explore 2, you can use Cricut sticker paper or printable vinyl. Cricut sticker paper is not my favorite, it's too thick like cardstock. However, if you want to use this paper, make sure your printer works with cardstock. I prefer printable vinyl because it's thinner and I got better results. Feel free to use your preferred material, but I recommend making sure it is thin so you don't have troubles with your printer. If you want to make stickers, labels, cards using the print then cut feature, you will need to use an inkjet printer. I have the HP MB7 151. However, I don't recommend it because the ink is pricey and I haven't gotten the results I expected. If you are planning to use the print then cut feature, I recommend getting a Canon Pigma. You can choose the printer that goes with your budget, but make sure it is an inkjet printer and preferably fits the paper from the top. I'm going to share some links in the info box. If you are planning to work with adhesive vinyl, you are also going to use transfer tape. These two always go together. If you are starting using iron-on, you can use a household iron. But if you are planning to use this material often, you need to get an easy press. I have the small and large easy press. You need to choose the dimensions based on the project you want to make. If you want to learn more about Cricut Easy Press, watch my video about it. When using an easy press, it's recommended to use an easy press mat to protect your work area, but if you are just beginning, you could use a towel. If you want to use iron-on in small pieces like keychains, shoes, stuffed animals, you can use the Easy Press Mini. If you are not familiar with adhesive vinyl and iron-on, also known as heat transfer vinyl, watch my video about it. If you want to use Cricut Infusible ink, you must use an easy press. This material won't work with a household iron. If you want to learn more, watch my video about it. When using Infusible ink, Cricut recommends using their blanks products since these have been tested with the material. Finally, the bright pad is one of my favorites. I don't have a 20/20 vision and this tool makes the weeding process easier for me. It helps me to see the cutting lines. The only function of the bright pad is to give you more light. It is important to mention, while you can use any brand of material you want, you can only use Cricut machine tools if you want to keep the 1-year warranty. I hope you like this video and you find it informative. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section. If you are interested in a Cricut or any of the products I show in this video, I'm going to share the links in the info box below the video. If you are new to my channel and you like what you see, hit the subscription button, tap the notification bell so you get informed every time I release a new video. Don't forget to visit my blog, follow me on my social media, like this video and share it with your loved ones. See you soon. Ciao, ciao.